and welcome back to the Anomaly Anthology. My name is John Coleman. What do you usually think of when you think of the term cryptid? Do you think of perhaps the Loch Ness Monster, the Chupacabra, or, like any person on the street, you think of Bigfoot? And that's perfectly okay. Completely okay, and I do not blame you for it. After all, most cryptids follow the same sort of pattern. They are either a strange bipedal creature, some sort of sea monster, or an unusual genus of animal/insect. Well, today, I'm going to tell you about a type of cryptid that is quite unlike the other ones that you've seen before. Perhaps some of you have heard of it, perhaps some of you have not, but all of you will be intrigued by it. Let me present to you the Fresno Nightcrawler. Well, it seems to be a blurry picture of the Fresno Nightcrawler. They look somewhat more like this. Strange, skinny creature with stick-like legs and almost a head. Typically, the eyes aren't included in what you will see of it, but artistic liberties. The first known footage of the Nightcrawler popped up sometime in July of 2008. The footage is from a CCTV camera. The image quality isn't exactly the best, but you can very clearly see in the foreground something, for lack of a better word, wiggling its way across the foreground out of the camera sight. Now, most people, when they first saw this, immediately assumed it to be a hoax. However, after multiple people tried to recreate the circumstances in the video, people started to change their tune, simply because the recreations just didn't look as good as the real thing, almost proving the video's legitimacy. The next time the creatures were seen was on March 27th of 2011 in Yosemite Park in California, which is coincidentally very close to Fresno, which is where the first alien was seen. As you can see in the video, there's not one Nightcrawler this time, but two of them, walking along in the park, almost implying that they travel in packs of two, but this is simply speculation. And like in the last video, you could see them both walking along in the foreground, one closer to the background and farther away from the first, sort of walking along on the ground until they're out of sight. Shortly after, people lost interest in the videos, saying that it was all a hoax, even though they really couldn't prove that it was a hoax otherwise, and they moved on. However, shortly after that, photos popped up around the internet of statues that looked almost identical to the Fresno alien and the Nightcrawler. The statues had clearly been in the area for what seemed like a very long time, and people had no idea what to do with it, leaving them flabbergasted and in silence. An interview with somebody indigenous to the area said they were from New Jersey and that they were created by the Native Americans who lived in that area. Now, the report I'm about to repeat to you, I'd advise you to take with a grain of salt, considering that it is from the internet. I would go interview the people who live there myself, but I simply do not have the time. So, we'll simply just make do with what we have right now and theorize upon it. The report says that somebody indigenous to the area, a Native American, stated that the statues were of creatures that the Native Americans had seen long ago wandering in their land. They said that the creatures were not of this world, but they had been around longer than anybody could remember, and that all they wanted was to bring peace and harmony between the two races and to protect the forests that they lived in. While the mystery of the Nightcrawler still stands, I'm going to present to you three theories as to what they could be, to help you come to a conclusion. Now, they could A, be from our world and in fact terrestrial. They could B, be extraterrestrial and not of our world. Or C, they could be otherworldly entirely. Not of another planet, but of another plane of existence. They could, in fact, be spirits. Option A is the least likely of the three, in that their physiology just does not seem of this world. And the way that they move is almost like they're having trouble with it. they are perhaps adjusting to Earth's gravity. Option B is perhaps the most likely in that, like I said before, their physiology just does not seem of this world, how they look like they're having trouble with moving along on our gravity. And the report that I was given earlier seems to support this as well. And option C is interesting, because if you look at the first video, you can see that the creature is not really wiggling along. It's almost like it's floating along. Although the Yosemite Park Nightcrawlers do not seem to share this feature. But if I'm being honest, these are definitely some of my favorite cryptids in the world. Just thinking about what they could be and how they operate and what they could possibly eat and what they run on and why they walk alone at night or why they walk in packs of two sometimes is just very interesting to me. To be honest, I don't know what I would do with one if I saw it up close, though I would be very interested at the possibility, which is why I am very open to researching these more in the future. But that is a video for another time. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe and to send these videos to anybody out in the world that you think are interested in anomalies. Remember to leave a comment telling me what you thought about the video, or if you have seen something in your backyard that just doesn't look right and you would like me to analyze it in the future. Or simply tell me about something that you've heard of that you would like me to cover. Thank you again for watching, and I will talk to you all later.